What if I were to tell you, as disappointing as yesterday was, both from a Phillies standpoint and then obviously the Mets taking care of business to prolong this for another day, what if I told you that this might be for the best? For a couple reasons. Number one, you win the division yesterday and you then what? Get on a plane and go across the country to LA? Is that a party plane? Is that sling them down real quick and then hop on the plane and take a nap on the way to LA kind of trip? What does that look like? And then just really from the baseball standpoint of it, the Phillies have more to do here. Like, I know that they have a 4.5 game lead in terms of securing the bye, but do I really want a situation where this team's all banged up and feeling too good about themselves heading out to LA and they're not totally dialed in and on point in what's a really huge series? Like, I know this is a team full of veteran guys, and I'd like to think that they would be big boys and not get distracted here. But, could perhaps it be better that they didn't get it done yesterday? They go out to LA tonight. They play a good game. They win. They clinch. Now they're up 5.5. They've done the bare minimum of what they've needed to do against the Dodgers. And then onward we move. Is it possible that that's actually better?
Yeah, Bob. I mean, that's a great way of looking at it. I think that if they had won yesterday, what I believe would have happened is there would have been a celebration, right? It probably would have lasted an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere in that regard, in the clubhouse. Then they would have showered, got their stuff, packed up, gone on the plane, and continued that celebration for a 5.5-hour flight, or 5 hours. I guess they would fly a little bit faster on a charter, lower level flying, and not have to worry about much other air traffic. I think that would probably have been a continued party. And then you're looking at, arriving here in LA at, and maybe waking up tomorrow not feeling as if they need to be as on point as they've been. So, I mean, it's very possible. Look, the thing that the one thing I will say that might put a kibosh to that notion, obviously we'll never know if it didn't happen, but they did line up their 3 lefty starters against the Dodgers for a reason. They do want to see how this plays, because there's a very real chance that this is a team that the Phillies are going to play in the playoffs, and it very well could be in a 5-game series and not a 7-game series. If things kind of stay as they are, the Phillies being a 2 seed, the Dodgers being the 3 seed, Dodgers win against whichever one of those 4 teams that are still in the wild card race that don't really want to be in the playoffs gets in. You're probably looking Dodgers, Phillies in a best of 5. So I think that there is some value to still, even if you would have won the game yesterday, just still seeing what that matchup looks like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that they would have still been kind of locked in. But you can't be locked in. I mean,
this is a thing here this week where I think you and I will align on this. You need to win one.
Yeah.
If you win the series, it's pretty much over, and certainly that is the goal. But what you cannot do here is come out and get swept by this team. And it sort of mirrors the conversation that we had during the Mets series. Part of it is the math. And then part of it is that this is a team that you will see, you very well might see a month from now. And I don't think that you want to go into that situation saying we went out there and we lined up our 3 best options, who are definitely and indisputably their 3 best options, and we couldn't find a way to win 1 game in Los Angeles. That's not what you want to be talking about come Thursday. So, I mean, I think for a multitude of reasons, mainly the math and less so the psychological part of it, but to a degree, I think both matter quite a bit. You got to find a way to go get one. And standing in their way tonight is Emmett Sheehan. And the Phillies are actually an underdog in this game. LA comes in -121, Phillies +102 on money line. And I just mentioned that because the expectation here from odds makers is you have the Dodgers, who came to life offensively a little bit after a prolonged slump, kind of got things rolling a little bit against the Giants this weekend. I want to talk about that series for a moment. So they're coming in, swinging the bats a little bit, and Sheehan's been really good. His last 3 starts, he's only allowed 3 earned runs and over 22 innings pitched. This is a guy, he's a 25-year-old. He's young. I know that he's not a household name, but this is a formidable opponent tonight for the Phillies, and they'll counter with Ranger Suarez, who tries to stay hot. So it's a really interesting pitching matchup. it sets the stage for what are three really good games in Los Angeles this week. And the one thing that I lament a little bit is that it's on the West Coast. Like, you're going to have to earn it tonight if you're a Phillies fan. 10-10 start time. This is a tough one for Phillies fans and what's such a massive series.
Yeah, no, it is, Bob. And I actually think that if you look at the three matchups, the one that I think that they have the best chance in is the game that Shohei Ohtani's pitching. And the reason I say that is because Ohtani's not been pitching with length, right, for the Dodgers. What's been the Dodgers' weakness? It's been their bullpen.
Yeah.
And I think that if you get into a game where you get into that bullpen early, you have a better chance of winning that. Plus, you got Christopher Sanchez on the mound. He's your best pitcher, right? You have him going in that game against Ohtani. So if I'm looking at the three, if I said, which one do I feel best about? I feel best about the middle matchup, which is weird, right? You don't think that with Ohtani pitching, but I do think that for the Phillies, that's their best matchup.
Yeah, especially when your counter is Christopher Sanchez. I mean, look, this is a series where I look at the three pitching matchups and I say these are all pretty good. I mean, Suarez, Sheehan, Sanchez, Ohtani, Luzardo, Snell. And are the Phillies, would I say, objectively speaking, favored in any of these games? No, but these are not games where you're going to look at the odds and see Dodgers are minus 165 tonight either. Like, these are three coin flip games, and I'm just asking that the Phillies have it fall on their side in one of the three. 2 out of 3 would be phenomenal. I don't believe they're going to sweep. Maybe they will. I don't know. But I just ask that the Phillies go get one. And if they could get this one tonight and check off the weak clinch box and take a little bit of the edge off and a little bit of the pressure off on Tuesday and Wednesday, man, that would go a long way. And so I'm interested to see this from the math standpoint. I'm interested to see how these three lefty arms compete against the Dodgers this week. I think it's going to give us some insight into what we might see next month. It really is a massive series. And like I said, and look, I had to make a business decision last night. I love the NFL. I love football. I sit there from 1 p.m. Eastern time all the way through 11:30 at the end of Sunday Night Football most weeks. Yesterday, I made a business decision. I'm watching J.J. McCarthy not be able to complete a pass midway through the second quarter against the Falcons. And I said, I have to go to bed. I have to save my hours for these games this week. All three of them are 10-10 start times, man. Like, I know you're a little bit of a night owl, but I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I'm working a lot of hours right now. And I just don't really like to do 10-10 3 straight days.
And not only that, Bob, I mean, I know I'm out here, right? So I have to kind of adjust to the California time. I got here Saturday evening, and I still haven't adjusted. I've been waking up at before the sun comes up out here in California. I found myself exhausted at 7:30 last night here in California. So like I still haven't adjusted to it. I probably won't. So I'm going to be suffering right through it with everybody else, even though I'll be, writing until probably 11 o'clock here, which will be 2 o'clock in the morning, 11:30 here, 2:30 in the morning back home. So yeah, it's going to be tough. And if you really want to take in the celebration, like whatever the TV is showing from the clubhouse, like you're probably going to have to hang in there that late, right? I mean, you're probably going to have to hang in that long. So, credit to the Phillies fans out there who are going to endure every minute of this series, at least until they clinch it.